Hello again. This is Superintendent Micheal Johnson, and welcome to another super episode of Leadership Matters. And I'm so excited about our guests today. We've had phenomenal guests, from Heisman Trophy winners to renowned orchestra leaders to violin sound leaders, and now we get someone that is cemented as a FAMU High, City of Tallahassee great. I don't know if I should use the full. Do I use all the name? Is it all Cecka Rose Green?
Yes.
She's celebrity. She could just say Cecka now, and I think it would work here in Tallahassee. But she is one of our guests today, who works with Family and Children's Services. Phenomenal leader, and I'll say this one tidbit why I have so much love, admiration, and respect for Miss Cecka is because before our family got here, through another organization that she's involved with, some hardworking women from Jack and Jill, I guess, called. Our family was Jack and Jill Denver, and I always call it the working moms groups because the dads, we just move furniture.
Right.
Had alerted her, and she showed my family and I love. I think she was more excited to see my wife when I met you down in the cafeteria. She's like, "Where's your wife? Where's Heather?" And I'm thinking, who is this lady who knows Heather and knows her as my wife? And it was Cecka Rose Green who welcomed us. So I'm super excited to sit down and talk with a legend, a giant in our community that I always say leadership is a verb. It's not a noun, and she is definitely that verb of leadership, Miss Cecka Rose Green. So, welcome to the show. Welcome.
Thank you. I am so honored to be here.
We're excited. Tell us a little bit about. I know a little bit about you. I know also the biggest job you have is wife and mother.
Absolutely. So you said a lot of it. I am I say native of Leon County, Tallahassee. We moved back here when I was 5. This was my father's home where he was raised.
Okay.
And I am a graduate of the old FAMU High, FAMU DRS. Proud to say I was valedictorian.
The Val.
I was valedictorian,
okay.
Yes. And in 85, and I matriculated to Florida A&M University. I started as a pharmacy major, finished as an English major.
Nice.
And have worked here my entire career, a 27-year career in public relations and communications. And for the last, 7 years, I've been in leadership at the executive director level.
And we're going to get into that in just a second. I think also noted all of your children are Rattlers, correct?
All of my children are Rattlers. So we have 3. They're young adults now.
Right. Well,
23, and 25.
We say children, but they are young adults. Yes.
And so the 2 girls, Mari and Shayla, are FAMU DRS graduates. And Trey claims honorary graduation. So he was here until his 10th grade year. And then he graduated from Florida Higher, FSUS. But they are all Rattlers.
He's still us. He's still a baby Rattler.
Yeah, so they are 2 are graduated. The girls are graduated from FAMU, and Marvin is a junior at FAMU.
He's a junior. It goes quickly. That's right. He was a year behind our son, who's a senior. So that's phenomenal. Yeah. Well, I'm really excited about our conversation today. I want to learn more about you. I always say my catch line is I just want to know a little bit more about you. Yeah. But also the work you do through Children's Service Council. A lot of people may not know that. Yeah. Can you just give us just so we have a footnote of your work with Children's I always want to say service children, but Children's Service Council, correct?
Yes. So Children's Services Council of Leon County.
Of Leon County.
There you
we got it. Okay.
Yeah. So Children's Services Councils are special taxing districts. And in November of 2020, the electorate here in Leon County voted to tax themselves an extra property tax to generate revenue for children, youth, and family services. And that is done through a Children's Services Council. So that was in November of 2020. There are 10 members that sit on that council, 5 defined in statute, and the other 5 are appointed by the governor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they are appointed by the governor, but through application with the Leon County Commission. So the Leon County Commission nominates.
They send those recommendations to the
governor, and the governor then appoints from that list of recommendations.
Just for my knowledge, does that change with governors, or does it change with...
It can change with governors. They initially were all seated in May of 21 with staggered terms. And so 3 roll off at one point and then 2. But they can apply for reappointment and they can be reappointed.
And then they fall under your umbrella of supervision.
So it's more, I would say, a shared type of governance. So technically, I worked for the council. The council was responsible for hiring me.
Kind of like the school board.
Exactly.
Or gotcha.
Exactly. But through the expertise of me and the team that we've built at CSC Leon, we do our best to work with them, to use data to help them know what decisions to make and to bring to them programs that we believe through our research will help move the needle for children, youth, and families here in Leon County.
She's doing the work. She's that verb. You know, in that, we all have a story of what helped us get to wherever we are. I still try to figure out about leadership, born or made. I think it's kind of a hybrid thing. I really do.
Agree.
I really do.
I agree.
But tell us just a little bit about your journey, if you know, if you don't mind, because I think someone can gravitate from that journey.
So when we moved here at 5, at age 10, my parents divorced, and my dad moved north up into Connecticut, and my mom, who's actually retired from FAMU DRS, stayed here, and so we stayed here. I started school as a pharmacy major. 4th year in, I realized that's not what I wanted to do.
4th year?
4th year.
Wow.
First semester of my 4th year, I realized.
CVS ready.
Yeah, the compression socks and nothing against pharmacists out there. But for me, it wasn't a passion. And so I was taking English electives. And so I changed my major to English. I finished in my original 6 years because I was going PharmD. And I started working in communications and publications and worked for the Florida League of Cities here, which is the association of all the cities in the state of Florida. And I did that. I then went to the Alcohol and Drug Abuse Association and did work. Wow. Went to FICPA, which is Certified Public Accountants, and did work. Came back to the Florida Association of Counties and did work. Then moved to the Department of Children and Families and did work there. Did private PR and civic participation, went to the advocacy side of children's services with the Voices for Florida's Children, then did my own thing for a few years.
Wow.
After that, I landed at the Florida Housing Finance Corporation, which is the state's housing finance agency charged with developing affordable housing. And so developing and financing affordable housing throughout the state. From there, I actually went to a gubernatorial campaign.
Really?
I was released from that job. We got a new executive director, and he wanted to go in a different direction. But while I was there, I participated in the Certified Public Managers Program at Florida State University. And that was when I knew that my passion for identifying and developing leaders was there. And that's what I wanted to do. And even though I had always been in C-suite, in comms, I wanted to have a bigger impact. And that's what I prayed. I said, God, I don't know how this is going to happen, because this is a leap from PR into what I call executive management. So from the budgeting, you are the one, the buck stops with you. And so I was released by that executive director, no harm, no foul.
Right.
And I said I was not going to take another full-time job unless it was in some sort of executive director, CEO, deputy. I felt like it would be at some small nonprofit.
Right.
And I panicked. I panicked because I had worked since I was 13.
Yeah.
But I was recruited to Leading Age Florida, and that is the association of the continuum of care for elders. So nursing homes, assisted living, very nice communities where people will go to live out the rest of their life. And so golf courses, from nursing homes all the way to golf course communities. And from there, I was recruited to a gubernatorial campaign.
Look at this.
Yeah, I was recruited there.
I'm just sitting here thinking about our conversation. And when someone else, I'm talking about the things I've done with someone else, I go, I'm just sitting listening to this, and it's kind of like what we were talking about before we were rolling with the show. That sounds like, God is so good.
All the time.
Because it's like you were being prepared
for what
you're doing
now.
Right now, from the
and
political.
This didn't even exist. So CSC Leon did not exist during all of this.
People, are you guys listening to this?
Did not
This
exist.
is how it works in leadership.
There had been a couple times in the 90s where it had come to the ballot and it didn't pass. The community didn't have an appetite for that.
Really?
And so while I was doing all of that, this did not exist.
And then you're a black woman.
Yeah, I am.
You are a black woman. You are a fully black woman.
Fully.
But what I'm listening to, and I have watched my wife and her career, and I have 3 sisters, is the way you have to keep diving in the water. You don't know if it's cold or you don't know.
That's right.
But at least you kept that shot going.
And navigating all of the different areas.
Right.
It is challenging for sure, but I do believe that black women are built with a resilience that helps us learn to navigate the spaces, because you're not only navigating as a black woman, but you're navigating as a woman and navigating as an educated woman. And it definitely has its challenges. That being said, I do believe that there is an extra oomph, they call it black girl magic, that the Lord gives us to be able to manage. And we've seen that all through history when you look at black women leaders.
It's a secret sauce. I think about even myself when I listened to President Barack Obama talk about it, and I read something that they asked Micheal, she was talking about a guy she used to date. Did you hear that one? And,
yes.
Barack said, well, just think, if you were dating him, you would be doing such and such. She says, no, he'd have been the president.
Exactly.
That's me. I'm being very honest, because the times that I've wanted to quit or I wanted to do, and I had that secret sauce of my wife saying no and seeing it. So thinking of that, I always think about the challenge component that you were speaking about, because you got to have something deep in you.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the challenge, one of your challenges in that journey, and how did you overcome that challenge? Because to hear that, it's been some jobs that you're like, okay, we're going to mutually say deuces and go.
So it's interesting because my position at Florida Housing was really the only position where I literally got called in the office and was told, this is your last day here. And
really?
A separation agreement and all the things, and to go into it would, and I knew it was time for me to do something different, but there's nothing like somebody telling you this is your last day here. And there was a bit of an anger.
With no plan B.
With no plan B. I had been doing some interviewing for a leadership position.
Sure.
And so I just assumed, you know what? I'll just transition into that. Well, it came down to me and another person, and the other person got the job. So I think that's when I panicked and said, okay, I need to be working. So maybe now's not the time for me to take this leap. And I got there, and while I am grateful for that experience, I knew that it would not be a long-haul experience. And so when I was recruited to the gubernatorial campaign, that's a leap of faith, because you don't know whether your candidate is going to win or lose, and mine lost, and it was hard. It was
That's blood,
hard.
sweat, and tears.
Oh my gosh! And because he was not only a candidate but family to us, it hurts even more. But you sit down and you say, okay, so what's the next move? And so I always had my own LLC, and I said, well, I'll do contracting until something comes through. And lo and behold, I applied for a leadership, an executive director position with Children's Home Society, and didn't hear anything for 6 months. And then all of a sudden I get a call. saying, we'd like to talk to you. And you talk, and then I went down for an interview and did not expect that they would select me when you're looking at the candidates that are competing with you.
Okay.
But they did. And it was a wonderful ride until I was asked to apply for this job. And
Your current role?
My current role.
Wow.
And I really have to credit my mother on teaching my sister and me resilience. Mm-hmm. She never shied away from the fact that we were Black, the fact that we were women,
Right.
and that we would have to work not only twice as hard, but sometimes 3 times as hard.
Yeah, I was going to say about 15.
15 times as hard. And that if you put in the work, the road will rise to meet you. That's what she always said. She did not believe in shortcuts. She
Wow.
did not believe in sugarcoating. She did not believe in patting you and
Those are
saying,
pearls.
oh, you'll be, My mother said, I know you feel bad, and I know this seems hard, but you got to get up and keep going.
And is that what you utilize
And that
in that
is-
6-month period to get
I think in that 6-month period, that's what I said. You know what? I have the ability to earn money until something comes through. But I said initially, as I prayed, God, this is not what I want to do. And I did just the opposite. And so this happens, which was great because it was a wonderful experience. I will never, and I can say this unequivocally, never work on a political campaign again.
You can say that, huh?
It was wonderful, but it's
Right.
not my jam. And so the second time I said, God, I said that's what I wanted. I deviated. I'm going back. And I'm just going to trust
Wow.
that somehow you're going to make this happen.
And that trust is not easy.
It's not easy.
It's not easy.
It's not
'cause
easy.
it's-
And you're got 3 kids and your husband's, working full time and you're thinking
Yeah.
about the bills and the things. But I'm going to tell you, he
there, done
provided.
that. Yeah.
And it has been a great ride.
That's interesting because, I think about in leadership how glamorous folks believe it is. Mm-hmm. We talked about that a little bit off camera and the celebratory moments, but a lot of times people don't understand in leadership those hard moments.
Right.
Those moments that are, people always say diamond in the rough, but boy, that rough sometimes is, in my leadership, my wife has seen me cry. She's seen me, excuse me, mama, for saying this, cuss.
Oh, yeah.
She's seen me laugh, but people will say, oh, I want to be superintendent now because of this, or I want to be the executive director because of the work you did. So they think it's glamorous.
Yeah.
What's your thought around the glamorous thought process of leadership, the glam? Because you always look glamorous. I wouldn't think anything's wrong with
thank
Cecka Rose. I look at your Facebook and I be like, have a look at Cecka now, because she's always glammed and looking good. But the work is far from being. Leadership is not glamorous.
It
to
is
me.
not. It is sleepless nights.
Absolutely.
It's holding your tongue when what you really want to do is say that first thing that pops in your head. It's sitting there watching people give public comment and saying very disparaging things about you, and there's nothing you can say.
Absolutely.
It's reading Facebook posts because an article is posted and they call you
Everything
names
except
that I
Cecka
will not
Rose Green.
repeat.
Absolutely.
And those kind of things can they can hit you in your soul when you know all you're trying to do is the best job you can do. And what I have learned is that kindness matters, tact matters,
Absolutely.
and your work, when you do it to the best of your ability on any given day, will speak for itself.
I love that.
And
Tact
so
matters.
it's, you're going to fail several times. We tell the kids this all the time. You're going to fail a lot. That's when the lessons are learned. And
Right.
that's what gives you the resilience so that when you win, you can celebrate it and you earned it and your team earned it. I think for me, what I know to be true is that when I think about Shirley Chisholm and Barbara Jordan and Kamala Harris and
Just
Mary
keep going.
McLeod Bethune, you can go
Go
on and on, Oprah
Right.
Winfrey. When I think about them, I know they all had times in their careers where they wanted to quit.
Absolutely.
They wanted to say, you know what, I don't have to do this. I can go do something else. But they know that if they did, it would allow somebody who they will never know to quit as well. And so I think about that as I move through every day. I have to do this because some little girl, white, black, Asian, Hispanic, it doesn't matter, is looking at me and saying, if she can do it, I can do it. So
Right.
so you can't quit.
Wow. This is Superintendent Johnson again. This is Leadership Matters, sitting with Cecka Rose Green, and I feel like I can just throw out the softball and let her run with it. This is our own Oprah Winfrey. I'm going to have to call you for some counseling or
That's funny.
whatever. This
gosh.
is great. So we'll keep. I still have a few other things I want to talk with you about.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about it. I mean, I know you guys do everything from mental health work. You guys have partnered with us many times
For our summer youth
Yes.
expo.
Yeah, which is huge. So
Yeah.
maybe we start right at the expo, but I would really, even for my knowledge, like to hear, and I want my folks out here and my baby rattlers and large rattlers to understand the work that the Rattler, the Cecka Rose Green is doing. So talk to us a little bit about, watch this, the Children's Services Council.
You got it. Of
Mic
Leon
drop.
County. Mic drop.
Mic
drop the
drop.
mic. So let me first start by saying the partnership that we have established with FAMU DRS is invaluable. We have funded summer camps that have
Absolutely.
been held here at FAMU DRS.
Keep funding.
And we have partnered with the DRS, as Roger Walker always calls it, the DRS.
The DRS?
For our Summer Youth and Families Expo, where we have those summer programs that we fund come and be able to have families come and sign up on the spot. So the
Yes.
Children's Services Council uses the property tax revenue to fund services to children, youth, and families, and that's done after a comprehensive needs assessment
Wow.
was done in 22 to identify the gaps in services here in Leon County. And what we found mirrored what everybody else was saying. There are determinants, social determinants of health disparities, there's food insecurity, there's low birth weight, there's infant mortality, mother morbidity, all of those things when you look at what disenfranchisement is. And when we did that needs assessment and layered them on top of each other, it is very clear that in the 32301, 04, 05, 10, 07, that is where you are finding most of your disparities. And so when you think about Leon County, you're
Okay.
talking about the South Side. South Side as it goes out into Fort Braden. So that's 03, I think,
Okay.
out there. And so using that information, we identify programs. Some are research supported, some are evidence based, and some are grassroots and emerging to fund and specifically help address, first and foremost, those areas, and then secondly, all across the county. So over the 5 years that we've been in existence, we've collected right at about $40 million.
Wow.
And we have awarded or encumbered about $35 million of that.
And I can contest to it's real because what you guys have, and I don't mean this in any flippant manner, but what you guys have poured in just to our school district is phenomenal. what you guys do for our families as far as, the services that you open up, and our expo that we have held is phenomenal. I do want to go back because I think it's great that you guys identified those gaps. How did they go about identifying those specific gaps and those specific needs in those area codes that you noted? No, area codes, zip codes, I'm sorry.
So our council decided they wanted a comprehensive needs assessment, not just the gathering of other people's data. So they did an ITN, and secured QQ Research out of Miami, Dr. Sandra Williams, and her group. And they came up into this community and did focus groups and interviews and surveys and did a comprehensive program assessment and inventory to determine what was here, how many nonprofits served children, youth, and families. How did that look? Wow. They looked at other funding streams. So here in our community, we've got the CHSP process, which is funding that is awarded from the city and the county through a joint application process. Was that making a difference? Looking at philanthropy, which in Leon County is not nearly as robust as it may be in other areas, Orlando, Miami, Gainesville, Jacksonville. And they compiled all of that information, looked at U.S. Department of Agriculture, Health, and Human Services, state data. They pulled all of that together for the most recent information that was available at that time and presented a 119-page report that included recommendations for short-term funding that we could do almost immediately, and then long-term funding that, if we looked at those possible programs, should help show a change in those community indicators that are either too high or too low. And all of this was happening in COVID. So I was hired in December of 21, took the helm on January 1st of 22, and as you know, we were just coming out of COVID. And so our council made a clear decision that with that summer coming and parents having to go back into the office, it was important to go ahead and fund. So we funded summer programs that summer. We just said, here are our priorities, tell us where you fit, and we will see if we can award you funding. And so we did. And allowed safe places for kids to be while their parents went back to work.
Well,
as we've moved through,
that's amazing. Cecka.
We have really upped accountability.
I was going to say
outcomes,
what you've done.
Moved from outputs to outcomes, and now our council just approved its strategic framework and strategic goal statements through 2030. So we will, in the next few weeks, release that strategic plan, strategic framework, and that is what will shape our funding moving toward 2030.
Well, they were geniuses hiring you because they could not have done
Thank you.
Any better and more of an advocate. Just to go a little bit, not too personal, but a little deeper into our conversation.
Sure.
As leaders and our responsibilities, what are some of the issues that children are facing that concern you the most?
The most. Wow. How much longer do we have?
How much tape we got?
I will say that one of the biggest concerns I have, being a parent who raised these kids,
I'm with you,
is literacy and readiness for kindergarten.
Absolutely.
Because I do not think the public truly understands that readiness for kindergarten, and then that third grade reading level, and then the 8th grade math scores, it determines how their child will do past high school.
Absolutely.
And many people don't understand that the 3rd grade reading level is how prisons and the correction system determines what prison beds they're going to need further out.
Isn't that 3rd grade?
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And so my concern is definitely kindergarten readiness, Let's ensure that as many of our children as possible are hitting that 85% being ready for kindergarten. And then really look at that literacy rate. The second thing that I think concerns me is parents not understanding that irrespective of their education level, they are their child's first teacher.
Absolutely.
And so don't be concerned about whether you can read the book. Pick the book up and just look at the pages and talk to your child about what they're seeing on the pages. Yes, we are all busy. When you're cooking food and your child comes in the kitchen, talk about what you're doing.
We believe Cecka.
Talk about how the pot warms up and it's hot and the food that's in it.
Well,
just put,
and
we have this. Look, this is my plug. So we have programs where we can put books in the house. We have the ability to do it electronically. New Worlds Reading will send books to the house.
Really?
But put books in the house. Have your child pick them up and let them tell you what they see. So don't be so constrained by what you think you don't know, but walk in your power as a parent and understand that you are the first teacher. Driving down the street, have your child identify all the things they see out the window. Cut the radio off and talk.
Man, I feel like I'm talking to Oprah.
Well, my mom's a retired teacher.
But, you know, here's what I say. Like, two things, and I want our team to be, I would love for us to be able to tag from your organization on our new, we just up our new social media, is to put a tag on there from you guys.
Absolutely.
For parents to be able to go on to order or get those books from you guys, because something that my wife and I believe in, and I always say, people ask me, what am I reading? And I'll say, which 15 books? And one of the gut-wrenching things we had to do when we moved to Tallahassee, we've always had a library with thousands of books. And I literally mean that. You come to my house now, and it's like, where can we put another bookshelf? My wife won't let me just throw them anywhere. Is we had to donate probably, and I'm not exaggerating, maybe 1,000 books, because we just didn't have the space for them. And moving, that's one of the heaviest things to do. But I've always said that to parents is, you know, put books, as you said, in your home so kids will see the importance of a book, and then also let them, especially black men, let kids in your community see you walk around with a book and let them see you read a book, not social media on the phone, a book.
A hard cover book. I tried to convert my kids. When the Kindle came out, I lost my mind because I had the Kindle, I had the iPad, and when the Kindle would go down, I'd pull it up on the iPad. We bought them for the kids, but what we realized is because of the way they were raised, they're book purists, and they like hard copy books.
As I do, right.
The other thing I will tell you that I think listeners need to make sure they do, as soon as they can, go online and sign up for a library card.
You guys are listening to this.
Sign up for a library card. Take your children to the library.
Free 99.
There are branches all over the city. They have programming, and more importantly, they have books, and they can check those books out. You can do Audible books on the library now. They have a whole app. And so that reading component is very, very important. Very, very important. And so for me, that is why I believe our kids have been successful, and I say successful or great in that their reading comprehension is there because it feeds into everything else.
I hope everyone is grabbing these pearls you're throwing out. This is free. Free education, and I'm learning from Miss Cecka Rose Green from, here we go, the Children's Services Council. She's the executive director sitting down with us. Just a couple more questions to dive in. And we may, if they have it, we're going to have a lightning round.
Okay.
That's pretty, I enjoy doing it. But can you, just for the sake of learning, talk about some of the challenges today that you see that were not there 5 years ago?
Well, you know the first one I'm going to say, the prevalence of social media.
Right.
Even 5 years ago, it wasn't as bad as it is now. I also think food insecurity continues to be an issue. We make sure at the Children's Services Council that when we do our out-of-school time programs, that meals are included, so that children are being fed and can eat. Oh gosh, I feel like every generation says that their generation had a better time than the generation that's coming up. But I still tend to think social media is one of the biggest challenges for our children and our young adults.
I agree.
Because what they don't understand is that social media shows you the best of a person's life. And I believe the saying goes that comparison is the robber of joy. Because you are always comparing yourself to what you see on social media, not understanding that there are filters, there are edits, there are all these things that make that look better than what the reality is. And so even with our own young people, just encourage them, take social media breaks.
I think even for some of us older folks, because, my wife and I and my children, we live the life. And, I'll read something. My hubby and we're going skydiving. I'm like, no.
We haven't been skydiving.
Yeah, but, so it presents a facade a lot of times that it's not there. And if a person is not a student of or well-read or well-versed, that begins to formulate
it
their
forms
reality.
Your reality and your esteem. Not to quote the great Cat Williams.
Right, go ahead and quote him. Cat's
but Cat in his comedy, I think it was one of the first ones he did on HBO, he talks about esteem and how he was talking about in the nature of dating and how a woman will say, he messed up my self-esteem.
Right.
And he comes back and says, it's self-esteem.
Yes.
It's esteem of yourself. It's what you think about yourself. And of course, that is developed by what we believe people think about us. And so many times it's just life experience that finally gets you to a place where you become comfortable with yourself and have a confidence within yourself that allows you to be who you are. It can be shaped by other people, and that's why you have to be careful about the people who you have around you.
Right.
And social media is a part of that. And so I think that it is a challenge. I think it's a challenge the younger people get. I think that keeping up with the Joneses is one of the worst things that anyone can do. And it is very important to define yourself for yourself. I always think about, dressing is worship for me. We all have our thing. And I like to dress. I like the whole process of getting ready and
they can
all
see
of that.
you.
I
they
like
can see
listen.
You.
I do.
Right.
That being said, it is not for me to pass judgment on someone else. I don't want people looking at me and saying, I have to do whatever it takes to be like her. No, I want you to look at me and say, this is how she is. What I hope I radiate is this is how I am. It's okay for me to be the way I want to be.
Man, listen.
And so I always try to encourage people to be who they are. And when they say, oh, Cecka, I want to be just like you, I always come back and say, no. You want to be who you are. And if there is something in me that you see in you, then yes, foster that. But don't try to be me. The world is looking for you. If you are not you, when the world comes looking, they're not going to find you. They're not going to find you. Because you are busy trying to be someone else. The opportunity is looking for you, and if you are busy trying to be someone else, they can't find you.
Miss Cecka, I hope folks are listening to this. And I lost myself. I'm doing the show. I'm the host, but I just listen because it's so great.
It took me a lot of years to get here. Let me be,
Yeah,
and that's
it
the
does.
other thing I always try to say.
It
Listen,
does.
took me a lot of years. Next week I'll be 59 years old. It took me a lot of years to get here. So my goal is to help young people get there sooner.
And 59, you don't look. I could have done
Yeah.
a Kevin Hart. I don't know if you ever seen the skit when he was with
Don Cheadle.
And he
Yes.
said, "Damn, I didn't want to do
Yes.
that." But when you said 59, I
Yes.
wasn't gonna do that.
Yes.
But it's so funny. Another funny part when you talk about, I read something. A guy walked in to Barnes and Noble and went up to the counter and said, "Can you please tell me where I would find the self-help books?" And they said the person just stood there and looked at him for about 2 minutes, and then the guy finally went and said, "Is it back in the back?" And the guy just looked at him and said, "Yeah, self-help. You know, you got to do it
You
for
have to
yourself."
do it yourself. That's
We're
right.
great. No one does it alone. It's us, and one of this is as I celebrate. This is my my daughter's 24th year in school leadership. You could have went, damn. huh?"
Congratulations.
And almost my 31st year in education.
Wow. You don't look it.
Well, thank you.
You don't look it.
Don't look it. But I will say one of the things that has always been one that I dropped my head is people believe the school should be solving all the world issues. Thinking about what your organization does, how do we all, I always say when people say, well, how do you make, a difficult decision? I think of whatever it is, and I put student right there, and then what's all around is going to impact that student. But it's always been that we are the ones that solve, all their problems, all their issues. How do we get what you're doing with your organization to have a global look at how do we solve this problem with today's student?
So it's almost like and I promise you all, we didn't talk before today, but it's the perfect segue for where I believe our community needs to be. And
Okay.
that is a conception to career or college continuum. And looking at Jimmy or Johnny May and the community identifying along their journey, what are all the things that make them successful? What are all the things that they need in order to finish high school and either choose to go into a career and then college, or choose to go into college and then a career, or choose to just go into a
Right.
career, which is fine. And so the way that society has evolved, we have made it the school's responsibility to do everything for a child. And that is not the way it started. Remember
No.
back in the day, your parents talk about how they went to school and then they went home for lunch?
That's right.
And then they came back? It identified that the family is a part of this equation. But as you get to a place where you've got more working parents, that was also back in the Leave It to Beaver days. When,
That's right.
But we now are at a
Good
place.
times.
All right, times. We're in a place where we've got two working
Right.
parents and the like, but parenting is not for the faint of heart.
No, Lord.
There is a responsibility that we have, but parents need help. And back in the day, it was the village.
It was the
It
church.
was going out, it was the church,
The
it was
teen
the
center.
village, it was going out to play. And before you could get home, Miss Hattie Mae had called your mom and told her that you were mean to the kid down the street. So she fussed at you, then you got it at home. So it was a village. Our village has dissipated for lots of different reasons. And I believe COVID didn't do anything but make it worse. So
agree.
part of what we want to do as a Children's Services Council in the role of convener is recreate the village. But it won't look the same way it did back in the 60s and 70s. It's going to be community organizations coming in and helping to fill. It's going to be the state. It's going to be all of the partners that come together to fill those gaps for the family. And if you can support them all along the way and allow them to come in at any point of that continuum, then you create a microcosm that allows the child to be great. Cornel West, and I borrow his quote all the time. I saw him during COVID. He says, we should not tell our children to be successful because success is defined by the outside world. Rather, we should tell our children we want them to be great because their greatness is determined by what's inside of them. And so I could go on and on about the things that I believe have impacted the way that our young adults think about their greatness or think about their success. But if we can recreate that village, my friend and Sora, Dr. L. Brown, calls it the top-notch village. If we can create that top-notch village.
I knew he's going to throw Delta in there something.
Of course.
But go ahead.
Of course.
Go ahead.
Ooh,
That's beautiful. Go ahead.
1913.
Okay. 1 year later, 14.
If we can, listen, what do they say about sigmas? There's a delta in the heart of every sigma.
Yeah.
Okay. Or there's a sigma in the heart of every delta. That's what it is. There's a sigma in the heart of every delta.
I promise
delta,
we
sigma, theta.
we had a worse saying than that, and we still growing, but I'll leave it alone. But
so
that's phenomenal.
That's what I really believe.
You know, as I think about it, in another hat that you wear that we didn't talk about is the pathways that we've created through FAMU DRS for success with our Future Center, and then 2 years ago, and I don't even know if it's been announced that we've been announced as a distinguished community school.
Oh, now that I did not know. I do serve on the steering committee for the Unlimited Potential
she's on our steering committee.
Yeah.
And who could we ask better to be on there? And I do promise you guys that as long as she keeps saying yes, this will not be the last time to sit down with Cecka Rose Green, because it's just phenomenal to hear all the things that she's doing, the differences that she's making in the community, and the impact she has on leaders like myself. So I do thank her for all of that. So we'll shift and just do a little bit of little fun before we close out. So I have 10 questions.
Okay.
I just throw them out.
All right.
And you can respond. And I got a great, team. They'll edit if it's something you cuss or you want to change. So we'll go with it. So here we go. You ready? It's 10
I'm
questions.
Ready. Yeah.
First one, favorite leadership book?
Ooh. The Ideal Team Player.
Okay.
Peter Leccioni.
Yeah. Okay. I like Think and Grow Rich. People say, well, why? Because it's talking about a mind change. But that's great. Yeah. Favorite, and I need this because I'm going to take my wife on a date. Favorite local restaurant?
Favorite local restaurant would have to be, probably two.
Okay.
Cool Beans.
Okay. Been there. I can go with that.
And Bella Bella.
Bella Bella. We have not done Bella Bella.
Italian.
And this is the second time that has been mentioned. So Heather, Bella Bella is in our near future. Okay. Coffee or tea?
Oh, coffee. Every day.
Are you an all-day coffee or just in the mornings?
No, normally just in the mornings.
Just in the mornings, okay.
And I have to have it.
Have to?
I must have one
for
cup.
The sanity of everyone else?
I have to have it, or the day will not go well for others around me.
Cream and sugar or just straight up?
Cream and sugar.
Okay.
I can do black with, I do cream and Splenda.
Okay, but you got to have,
I got to have it.
Yeah, I can look at Heather some mornings and I'll say, I'm going to start the coffee
and I'm the only one that drinks it in my house.
But they know you got to have your coffee.
They know I got to have it.
Every morning.
We travel, and if we got to stop, Marvin will say, Cecka, you can go in and get your coffee.
So I'll text you because you'll be back in a few weeks, and I'll have whatever coffee you want sitting here. So we'll do coffee. Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
How early?
Nowadays, I wake up about 4.
Damn.
Now, I don't move. I know, Kevin Hart.
4?
Yeah, 4. I don't move, but I usually wake up about 4, flip the TV on, and lay there.
I think I go up and down. I'm a very night owl because
everybody else in my house are night owls.
Yeah, I'm a night owl.
So about 6, and I go with the circadian rhythm. So when the time changes and it starts getting dark at 6:30,
you flip it. There you go.
I get sleepy.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's on your playlist right now? Can you
Okay,
say
I'm gonna give two answers. So I am a child of the '80s.
as well?
So I got a '80s playlist.
Okay.
Madonna, Ready for the World.
Tears for Fear?
Tears for Fears,
That's a big
U2.
one.
I got that one, and then my other playlist is from college,
Uh-oh. Jump, jump, get it.
Miami based.
Yeah.
Yes.
Doodoo Brown and Luke and
Clay D.
okay, I'm gonna keep
Let's get
going.
funky.
Let me check that one off and keep moving. Sorry, Mr. Green. I was just asking. Was he getting it in too? Okay.
You know
okay.
he's 3 years younger than me, so I was coming out when he was going in. Yeah.
Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
We didn't
Y'all-
start dating until after I had graduated college.
And then I'm a little older than my wife, just a little.
Just a little.
Yeah, I went young in college. Come on, girl.
Wow.
Favorite way to unplug? How do you unplug?
Wow, I like watching reruns. So I know every episode of A Different World and
Oh, yeah,
Living
that's-
Single.
You know, you're going to probably I may get two shoes. I am not a living single guy.
Well, I don't know if we can be friends.
But I like what's happening.
Living Single.
Okay.
I will go on record as saying Living Single was the precursor to Friends. I don't watch
I
Friends.
do believe that. I do believe
Living
that.
Single was my life, and I know
And-
every word to every episode. And so, Living Single in a Different World.
Different
that
World
was my
is,
life.
we're so excited. And our son thought we were the biggest dork because they're doing the
reboot.
And he was getting frustrated, like, can't get through because there's different world signs. And
I
my wife was
can't.
like, take some pictures of the signs at least.
Cannot wait.
Yeah, we were all in it, and he was like, he calls us dorks in fun. But we were asking, like, did you see Jasmine? He's like, who? So, yeah, we're so
Miles
excited
needs
for
to
that.
get with it.
No, I don't know, but different world. I
Yeah.
agree. Living single,
Have you tried?
I do. I mean, Heather is the exact living single and different world. But when she hears the what's happening, she's like, oh.
I mean, I like what's happening for a while,
But she
so
says
I've
a
gotten
boy
into
show.
good times as well. And
She
and
says
I would,
too depressing.
But here's the thing: Good Times now is a redo of what's going on right now. And so I started watching Good Times a little bit.
See, you dropping pearls even in the
I'm telling
lightning
you,
round. I
I'm
love
telling
it.
you.
Best advice you've ever received?
Best advice I have ever received was Ken.
Ken?
Is it kind? Is it important? And is it necessary? So before
Oh,
you
wow.
decide you want to say anything to anyone, kids, husband, friends, coworkers, is it kind? Is it important? And is it necessary? If it doesn't meet all three of those, keep it to yourself.
I wrote that down. Ken. Okay. Steel pearls. Good Lord. You have a favorite quote?
My favorite quote, so I have two. The first one is Maya Angelou. When people show you who they are,
Believe them.
Believe them. The first time. That's what people leave off.
Oh, the first time.
The first time. And my
That's
second
the mistake
quote,
we make sometimes.
Right.
I do.
When people show you who they are, believe them the first time, Maya Angelou. And the second one is Nelson Mandela. I never win or lose. I either win or learn.
Love it. Love it. Maya Angelou, is she a AK?
She's AK.
Or Delta?
She's AK.
Okay, I don't know. I know she's not a Sigma. One person living or deceased you love to have dinner with.
So, living, Queen Latifah.
Really? Talk to
is
Heather.
my-
Heather sat down with her before.
She is my woman's crush.
But that's living single. That's your woman crush? Really?
Queen Latifah. She's also my new Sora.
Okay. You know who mine is? It used to be, and you're going to laugh, because my two shows, I have to say, still are the Cosby Show.
Every day.
And
Know all
Living
them
Single.
too.
But I still would. I would love to know how Bill Cosby get rid of all the other
Yeah.
noise, but how he navigated. Because what people forget, Bill Cosby became the biggest threat
He did.
in entertainment when he said a real simple thing: I want to purchase NBC. And people forget that, and then
And I want to do a show centered around an educated black family.
yeah.
Because when you look at everything before, it was working class or ghetto or, south side of town. And so him doing that was landmark. And again, go back and watch it. It's all happening now.
Yeah. And then my other one, I think, would be Malcolm X. Just bought a new book about his daughter wrote Malcolm in the Desert. Is talking
Yes.
about his transition. But man, could you imagine that conversation?
That would be something.
Yeah. So, okay, we'll give you those. What would be, this is question 10, what would be one thing people would be surprised to learn about you?
People might be surprised to learn that I am a classically trained dancer.
Really? That's not surprising because you're so gifted, but I don't know,
From
surprising. I'm
age
just like,
3
wow. Really?
through college, I took tap, jazz, and ballet. I taught for 7 years in high school and college, and I actually auditioned for the American Ballet Theater in New York.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in New York. I don't have the, like, it wasn't a destination of mine.
Right,
but,
no, that's phenomenal.
But it really played into, I think, the discipline I have. I was born pigeon-toed and sway-back, and I wore a brace for a while, and it didn't work. And so when my parents went back to the doctor said, look, we could put her in braces again, but the best thing you can do for your daughter is put her in ballet.
Yeah,
And so they did.
I could see that. But I got a question 11. So on Set Friday, when Luke came on, what genre of dance did you do? She's done. Okay.
Pull it all the way, pull it out.
This has been seriously a gift, and this has been pearls of wisdom from I'm gonna start saying the Cecka Rose Green.
And Superintendent Johnson, let me say one thing for
Yes,
the
ma'am.
podcast, because I have to.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to congratulate you and the entire FAMU DRS family on earning a B grade this
Right.
year.
Yeah.
That is awesome. And I can't wait until you earn the A,
Yeah.
because FAMU DRS is going back to being the school of choice
Thank you.
in this city.
Thank you. As you know, and you've talked about leadership, no one does it alone. I
Right.
mean, I'm not sitting in this room alone.
Right.
All of these folks in here make me look better. And it's not hard work. No, I'm just joking. But they make me better.
Absolutely.
All of the teaching staff and the leaders and everyone. It's just getting everyone on the bus.
Yeah.
And then uninviting some folks that don't want to be on the bus and still love you. If I see you at Governor Square, I'm going to still show you love, because
Yes.
this is not personal. It's work that's personal.
Absolutely.
And so thank you. But, the work you do and your support and your embrace when not just I, but when my entire family moved here, makes it where we stand here today and say we're thankful to God that we stayed on mission. There were some hard days that I wanted to
Absolutely.
waver away and say, well, maybe it's not, but I planted my feet and stood on ground. And I will say, having a deputy superintendent that will stand as your number 2 and stand behind you in what you're doing, and sometimes in front of you, because to take
Absolutely.
bullets for you. And I don't mean that in a shoot manner, but we'll take
Yeah.
those for you, because I always say in leadership, people are the happiest with you when the decision benefited them. When it doesn't, then you're, well, it's that bald head joker would do this. But if
and the other thing is, and so while you're saying that, I have to give a shout out to our team because we're a very small
Yeah.
team. We're only a team of 6,
Yeah.
and right now we're down 1. And we are a team of unicorns, and I have said it before, and I'll say it again. I know that God in the universe has its hands on us.
On us.
And
Amen.
the work that we do,
Amen.
but performance reflects leadership, and I think the B
Thank
grade shows that for
Thank you.
So I had to say congratulations.
Thank you. We're excited about it, and we look to continue to work.
Yeah.
Again, I'm Superintendent Johnson. This is another episode of Leadership Matters. Man, this was a good one. If you missed it, you can go back and watch it again. Send it to some friends, send it to some family, because what you heard from the Cecka Rose Green was something you can't even get out of a book. So thank you for sitting down
Thank you
with
for
us. Please,
having me.
this is
My
not the last
honor.
time.
Of course.
Not the last time.
I will
okay?
come whenever you all call.
We're calling.
Alrighty.
So just pick up. Thank you again to my team that puts in the work. And until next time, continue to be great. Thank you.